Boba Fett. The man, the myth, the legend. Let's talk about the cult of Boba Fett. So I think I was probably pretty late to the party with the appreciation of Boba Fett. I've only been a real huge Boba Fett fan for probably the last 16 or so years. I mean, I always thought it was pretty cool, but it's such a small part that, you know, I never really paid that much attention to him. And this was all before I was considering starting costuming. I mean, I just wanted to be a stormtrooper like everybody else. And I went along to an event where I was going to borrow a stormtrooper, and I ended up in the worst Jango Fett costume you've ever seen. But anyway, let's not talk about that. It was explained to me that stormtroopers are easier for this particular group to come by. It was really difficult to get a Boba Fett costume, and that began my journey into the Boba Fett rabbit hole. When you start looking at the costume, you realise how complex it is, and the development that went into this costume. When you understand why, then it becomes a lot clearer. It was the first costume in development for Empire Strikes Back, even long before Empire Strikes Back was in development. So what happened there? I don't know. Why did they develop the costume so early? The reason why the costume ended up so complex is because of the amount of time that they had on their hands to work around and play with it. Well, that's what I was always led to believe. And we know it was originally going to be an elite stormtrooper, and we know it was also going to be a costume that was made maybe, you know, in great volume. When the budget restrictions came into force because of the way Empire was funded, then that idea quickly changed, and that's when it became the Bounty Hunter and Boba Fett. So this is the first striking thing with Boba Fett that makes him different. I mean, there's so much stuff that makes the character of Boba Fett stand out, but let's start with his first appearance 2 years before the movie. Crazy, absolutely crazy. He appears in the Marin County parade, him and Vader. That's it, a well-known character and a completely unknown character. Quite insane. And he's also, he's a character that has so little screen time and yet bridges Star Wars to The Empire Strikes Back. I mean, he's the only character from Empire Strikes Back that appears on a Star Wars card back. And then there's a holiday special.
Dear, to try and...
Let's go. I'm turning you over to Jabba the Hutt for the reward. No!
Probably better that we don't really talk about that. Not my favourite appearance. Although, technically, the first appearance of Boba Fett. E.T. I mean, this was a big movie for me. And here he is again, Boba Fett, front and centre.
And this is Boba Fett.
Yeah, he's the action figure. But this was the figure I was playing with as well. And I mean, the action figure. He was the original mail-away rocket-firing figure.
And now, Boba Fett, Star Wars villain with his laser rifle. Boba Fett is not yet available in stores, but you can get him free with 4 proofs of purchase from any Star Wars action figures.
There's just so much story around this character. And for him to have so little screen time and have such an impact. Then we arrive in the prequels, and the backstory of Boba Fett is developed, and we're introduced to his dad, Jango.
Boba, is your father here?
Yep.
May we see him?
Sure.
Which again is totally cool for me. I don't think this detracts from his character whatsoever. I think we learn more about Boba Fett in the guise of Jango, knowing that they're almost one and the same. and he kicks ass. So we've had the backstory, we've had Boba Fett in Clone Wars, we know an awful lot more about the character now. So probably the biggest mystery that remains is how Disney managed to f*** it up so bad. Whoa. Anyway, the original Boba Fett, the original costume, this was my pathway into creating props. Since the first moment when I really looked at the costume and I was introduced to the Dented Helmet website, I've never looked back. Boba Fett has always been a passion, an interest and a curiosity. This is where I cut my teeth, this is where I developed my prop building interest, skills and career. This was the starting point for me. And for that reason Boba Fett is always going to be super special. It's far from over yet. We are working on Boba Fett now, and we are working on updates and bringing him back in one form or another. I don't think we're going to do full commissions again because of the amount of stuff that we don't do in-house, which causes us major headaches. But we will be doing what we do for Boba Fett on a much more regular basis. The best way we can contribute to the Boba Fett community is by doing what we do best and sharing the information that we need to, so that you can go and find some of these parts and do as much of this as you feel able to, or as much as you want to do. But let's just get more original trilogy Boba Fett's. That's what the world needs. He is now a big priority, and he is a big part of my life now for the next few months. So, to really mark that occasion, we thought we should do something a little bit special. So here we are today, No Face Tattoo in Liverpool, and I'm going to get something rather special done. So there we go, guys. For the last 15 years, Boba Fett has been constantly on my mind. Now it is permanently etched there. Clarky has been talking about this place since I've known him. We finally came down here. No Face Tattoo. Thanks to Max for having us and for looking after us. There'll be links below. Check out the Instagram. Check out all the amazing work that these guys are doing.